Hello, welcome back to another episode of Revelation from the Word. So, today I want to talk to you about a topic that you may have heard growing up. I wish you were hot or cold. Well, let's take a look at what Jesus meant when he had John write this to one of the churches in Revelations 3. Now, Revelations was written around the 90 to 96 AD, and all these dates will matter to know a little bit what he's referring to here. And Laodicea, the church, started around the 53 to 57 AD, which was actually started by a fellow named Epaphras that was discipled from Paul, which is pretty interesting. But the seven churches addressed here in Revelation, they appear to be established when John is asked to send the letters. And it could have been the second generation, which fits the later date rather than the early church period, which is the 96 area. Laodicea had the perfect location when it came to doing business. People came from all directions to do business with them. They were like the middle of the cities around them, which was still quite a travel, but it was a meeting place for people. And they were known for their banking institution. They had money exchange systems. They were known for their black wool clothing industries, which they got from their local people, like raising sheep. They were also known for their eye powder, their ointment that had cure for if you had blurry visions. It was pretty incredible what all they carried as a city. They didn't just become wealthy, they became independent. Now remember, the church started around 53 to 57 AD, and around 60 AD, they had an earthquake which pretty much destroyed everything. And normally the Roman Empire, the government, would reach out and help a city rebuild, but Laodicea responded by saying, no, we don't need your help. We are self-sufficient, and we don't need anything. But they lacked one thing. Laodiceans, they had everything they wanted except they had no natural water source on their own. Their primary water supply came from Hierapolis, which was a city around 6 miles away, and that was south from them, and the city east from them 11 miles away. So cold water came from a town or a city, Colossia, sat on the base of Mount Cadmus, where snow melt, mountain runoff, fresh springs. By the time it reached Laodicea, which was 11 miles away, it was lukewarm. And we all know when especially in the desert, if it's really hot and you get a lukewarm water, you throw it out, you spit it out. You just can't drink it. It's nasty. And the water from Hierapolis, which was 6 miles away, was a hot springs, mineral water, what actually it was healing. When people sat in this hot spring, it brought healing to the body and the bones. But by the time they piped it and it reached Laodicea, again, it was warm. And it lost all its benefits. And it was bitter and it was good for nothing. In verse 17, Jesus responds by saying, because you say, I am rich, have become wealthy, have need of nothing, and do not know that you are wretched, miserable, poor, blind, and naked. Did you catch it? Everything that he said is what they had. They were wealthy. They had salve for their eyes. He says they're blind. They had wool to clothe themselves. He says they're naked. Everything they had in the physical, they lacked in the spiritual. In verse 18, he says, Jesus said, I counsel you to buy from me gold refined by fire, that you may be rich, and white garments, that you may be clothed, that the shame of your nakedness may not be revealed, and anoint your eyes with the salve that you may see. Again, Jesus responds by using the exact same thing that they were lacking. Isn't that interesting? I am convinced that whenever Jesus talks to us, he uses language that we're familiar with. Sometimes we make it so complicated as believers that, Jesus must speak this very lawyer type language. No, he speaks the language that you relate to. And if we're tender towards his voice, we'll hear what he's saying. They didn't need to lean on Jesus. They had everything they needed. Banking, he said, buy from me, buy gold from me. Ointment, they had salve for vision. Black wool clothing, purity. He says, I want to give you white garments that are pure. Stay pure. As many as I love, I rebuke. Verse 19. Therefore be zealous and repent. Sometimes when we get exposed, it's only to draw us closer to him. I'll leave you with this. In 361 AD, hardly a Christian was found near Laodicea. 99% of the population is Muslim. What's my point here? My point is, if we're not careful, the next generation will have to pay for our lukewarmness. Are we willing to step into what God has called us to? What has God laid on your heart to go after in this season, no matter what it looks like? It's challenging, and that's how you know it's the Lord. Thank you for watching.